here now. They're going to be about 30 minutes late. They called us and said, could you wait? I said, absolutely not. Let's get going, right? Let's get going, New Hampshire. And just so you understand, New Hampshire has a special place in my heart because this is where I won my first primary, right? And we are going to stop the heroin, and we are going to stop all of the problems that you have because you have them, and we're going to stop them, okay? You're always going to have, and I mean this, you're always going to have a very special place in my heart. So, new polls have just come out, and we're leading in many of the battleground states. And we're leading all over the country. The LA Times has us 6 points up nationwide. On November 8th, New Hampshire can be the state that pushes us over the top. We're going to win New Hampshire, and we're going to win back the White House, and we're going to make America great again. Remember that. Remember that. It's going to be a victory for the people, and especially those people who haven't had hope in a long time. That's a lot of people. Believe me, that's a lot of great people. That means cities like Flint, Michigan. I was there yesterday. In 1970, Flint had over 80,000 residents working at the General Motors plant. 80,000. Today, it's less than 8,000 people and heading south, believe me. 40% of the city lives in poverty. And now Ford, think of it, Ford, you read about it today. Ford has just announced they're moving all small car production, small car, the little ones, you know, but they're pretty big. They're probably moving all production. They just don't want to say it. Eventually, I was right. I was right. I've been saying this was going to happen for years, to Michigan, to Ohio, to every place that makes cars. And it's getting worse and worse. Well, they're moving to Mexico on top of all the other car production that they've moved there and that other companies have moved there. We are creating the car capital of the world in Mexico, believe me, folks. And I'm going to make sure that ends if I'm elected. It's going to end. So I went to Flint yesterday to address the water crisis. It's a failure at every single level of government. It's tragic and it's heartbreaking and should never happen in the United States of America, ever. It used to be cars were made in Flint and you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. Now, the cars are made in Mexico and you can't drink the water in Flint. That's what's happening to our country. See, that's what's happening to our country. This is what happens when we build up other countries instead of our own. We lose control. It's time to take care of our people and our workers. I'm campaigning in every community, and if you think this is easy, it's not. I've been all over the place. Wall Street, you know, if you would have looked today, all over, including Waldorf Astoria today. We made a big speech on the economy, etc. And I go from there to another place, to here, and I love doing it because what we're doing is a movement. What we're doing, you're going to be so proud of your country very, very soon. So just remember. So proud. And it is a movement, and it's a movement that everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about it. I'm running to be the president of all Americans. Our support comes from all regions and backgrounds and all walks of life. You are the cops and soldiers, the carpenters and welders, the accountants and lawyers, young and old, rich and poor, black, white, Latino, but above all, we're all Americans, all of us together, all Americans. Well, Hillary Clinton slanders you as deplorable and irredeemable. That means you can't ever get better. She doesn't understand you. I call you hardworking American patriots who love your family and love your country. Her comments displayed the same sense of arrogance and entitlement that led her to violate federal law as Secretary of State, hide and delete her emails, destroy her phones with a hammer, put classified information in the reach of our enemies, lie to Congress, and sell government favors and access through the Clinton Foundation. It's the same attitude of arrogance and entitlement that explains why she has never taken accountability for the disasters she created all over the world, in Libya, Syria, Iraq, Iran, all over. It's the same reason why she won't take responsibility for her central role in unleashing ISIS. It's what happened. Bad decisions. She has bad judgment. Bernie Sanders told us that. Obviously, Bernie, a rigged system with the superdelegates, and Bernie's right now home watching us together. But in all fairness, Bernie Sanders said she suffers from bad judgment. He's right. Her policies have created disaster overseas and poverty at home, so many places. I'm running to reverse these failures and to create a new American future, and it will be. And that future begins with prosperity at home. My economic agenda can be summed up in 3 words: jobs, jobs, jobs. True. Our jobs have been taken away from us. They've gone to Mexico and they've gone all over the world, but they've been taken away by incompetent politicians that don't know what's happening, or politicians that do know what's happening, but they're being bossed by special interests, their donors. You know what's happening. My economic plan rejects the cynicism that says our labor force will keep shrinking, that our jobs will keep leaving, and that our economy can never grow as it did once before, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to grow even better. Everything that is broken today can be fixed, and every failure can be turned into a great, great success. It's going to happen. And by the way, I just see off stage a very special person. Has anyone ever heard of Eric Trump? Eric Trump. Come up, Eric. My son, Eric Trump. He is working. And Ivanka and Don and Tiffany and all of them, they are working.
Are we not proud of this man? What is it, guys? 53 days to go or something like that. We are going to make America great. We are going to win. There's no question about it. We will not let you down. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank you, Eric. He has been working hard. His sister, too, and his brother, Don, and Tiffany made a great speech, and Melania made a great speech. Everybody, they're working so hard. And boy, the press likes to hit them, right? Boy, the press likes to hit them. And they're such good kids, but they can take it. Eric, can you take it? I think so, right? They're good kids. It's time to stop fighting over the smallest words and start dreaming about the great things we can achieve together as a country. Jobs can stop leaving our country and start pouring in. We're going to take them in. No longer a one-way highway into oblivion. Failing schools can become flourishing schools. Crumbling roads and bridges can become gleaming new infrastructure. Inner cities can experience a flood of new jobs and investment. And rising crime can give way to safe and prosperous communities. All of these things and so much more are possible. We have such potential in this country. But to accomplish them, we must replace the present policy of globalism, which has moved so many jobs and so much wealth out of our country, and replace it with a new policy of Americanism. It's what it is, Americanism. I am not running to be the president of the world. I'm running to be the president of the United States of America. Thank you. And I'm spending a lot of my money doing this, I want to tell you. These other people, it's all donations. Let the money pour in. We're spending a lot. You better make sure I win on November 8th, because I'm going to have wasted a hell of a lot of time, energy, and money. You know, when they tell me, Mr. Trump, it doesn't matter what you've accomplished. First of all, I've accomplished nothing. You've accomplished. I'm the messenger. But what you've accomplished is so incredible. I say, unless we win, we've accomplished nothing. Just remember, we have to win on November 8th. We have to get there, get everybody. New Hampshire. Got to vote. It's time to replace our failed political system with a new American system. If we lower our taxes, which we're going to do big league, remove destructive regulations, and we will be chopping, unleash the vast treasure of American energy, and negotiate trade deals that put America first, then there is no limit to the number of jobs we can create and the amount of prosperity we can unleash. America will truly be the greatest place in the world to invest, to hire, to grow, and to create new jobs, new technologies, and entire new industries. America, America. Made in America. Remember? He remembers. Some of my older folks here, right? We know, made in America. You remember? You don't see that very often. And you're seeing it less and less. We're going to bring it back. Made in America. My first day in office, I'm going to order a review of every single regulation issued over the last 8 years. All needless job-killing regulations will be canceled. Millions of new jobs will come pouring in. We're going to lift the restrictions on American energy, which means lower electricity prices and 500,000 new jobs a year. Big stuff. And that's just the beginning. Also, on my first day, I'm going to ask Congress to send me a bill to immediately repeal and replace disastrous Obamacare. It's a disaster. This will instantly save another 2 million jobs. I'm also going to completely reform our trade deals. We are going to renegotiate the worst trade deal ever made in the history, not of our country, in the history of the world. NAFTA, signed by Bill Clinton. A disaster. We're going to stand up to China and keep America out of TPP. That's another disaster. We don't need another massive multinational deal that ties us up and binds us down and is so complicated that nobody in our country understands it. Other countries, they know every word. They know every sentence, every paragraph. Our people, they don't even read deals. They sign whatever's put in front of them. Just take a look at what happened with Obamacare. Practically nobody in Congress read it. and what a mess we have. New Hampshire has lost nearly 1 in 3. Think of it. 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, and 1 in 4 since China joined the World Trade Organization. Both Hillary Clinton-backed disasters. Bad judgment, remember. Bad judgment. And I'm going to appoint the best and toughest trade negotiators, and we have the best in the world. We have the greatest business people and the greatest negotiators in the world. We don't use them. We use political hacks. We're going to stand up and defend our American workers. Any deal that doesn't increase jobs and wages in America, I will oppose, and I mean seriously oppose, not politician oppose. We are going to turn our bad trade deals into great ones. Another major reform is going to be school choice. I've outlined, and by the way, we are going to terminate Common Core and bring education local. I've outlined a plan to provide every disadvantaged child in America the freedom to choose the private, public, magnet, or religious school of his or her choice. This will help lift millions of poor African American and Hispanic children out of poverty. The poverty in our country is unbelievable. It's time to break up the failed Democratic control over our inner cities and provide real hope and opportunity to every single community in this nation. Our policies on taxes, trade, regulations, and educations will grow. Incomes will boost and go right through the roof. We have to increase people's incomes. Do you know that many people in this room made more money 18 years ago in real wages, think of it, than they do now? They're working harder now, they're older, and many people, because of Obamacare and for other reasons, are holding 2 jobs. So you're getting older, you're working harder, and you're making less. I don't think that sounds great. The only good thing is that I'm also working a hell of a lot harder than I've ever worked hard also. So I don't feel so sorry for you. Working hard. But we're enjoying it because we see the fruits of our labor, we see what's happening, and in 52 days, you're going to have a lot of happy people in this state and in this country, I'll tell you. So we want to reduce poverty for our African, American, and Hispanic communities. Have to. Since President Obama came into office, another 2 million Hispanic Americans have fallen into poverty. This is unacceptable. To the Hispanic community, I say, we are going to protect your jobs, we are going to build up your schools, and we are going to deliver safety and opportunity for your children. Safety also means protecting our people from radical Islamic terrorism. My opponent wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees. You saw what happened yesterday? Hundreds of thousands of people are being approved to pour into the country. We have no idea who they are. What a mistake. The great Trojan horse. 200 years from now, they'll be saying, boy, that was a bad, bad couple of years. You know, folks, we all have a big heart, and we want to build safe havens. We owe $20 trillion very soon. The debt's doubled under Obama, but we owe $20 trillion. The Gulf states have a lot of money. We're going to get them to put up the money. We'll build it. They have to put up the money. We'll build safe havens. We'll take care of people. But we cannot let them come into our country. We just can't. Not now. According to the Senate Subcommittee on Immigration, her entire plan will bring in 620,000 refugees in her first term and cost our country $400 billion. What are we doing? What are we doing? Instead of providing free health care and jobs to refugees from around the world, we should rebuild our inner cities and help struggling Americans. And we should work with Hispanics. We should work with African American citizens and help our inner cities. And we should take care of our great veterans who are not being treated properly. They have their priorities so very wrong. I support the construction of safe zones in the region, and we will get the Gulf states. We're going to get them to pay for it. The Gulf states wouldn't be there very long if it wasn't for us. At the same time, that's right, keep the oil. Remember my statement? Shouldn't go in, but if you go in, when you go out, keep the oil. Nah, we wouldn't do a thing like that. It's not politically correct, right? At the same time, we will rebuild our military, which is so badly depleted with the greatest people on earth running it. We are going to get our allies to pay their fair share. You know, we defend many countries, and we're getting socked on that one, too. We get socked on everything. Only 5 of the 28 member NATO countries, you remember I've been talking about this, they say, I don't like NATO. I like NATO. But we have 5 out of the 28 countries that are paying their obligation to spend 2% of GDP on defense. So don't you think they're supposed to be paying, maybe? I will convene a summit of our European and Asian allies to make sure that everyone is sharing the security burden and that we are properly focused on protecting our country and other countries, frankly, from radical Islamic terrorism. A word and a phrase that President Obama and Hillary Clinton just refused to use. And unless you're going to use it, and unless you're going to say it, you're never, ever going to be able to do anything about it. Just remember that. In all things, it's time to put Americans first and time to start taking care of each other. We have to take care of each other. And is there any place that's better to be than a Trump rally in New Hampshire? Here we are. No place. There's no place better. And you know what else? There's no place safer. Earlier this week, I rolled out a plan to help our mothers and our families get affordable, quality child care for their children. My daughter Ivanka was so helpful. She is so dedicated to that. And she's been talking about that long before June 16th of last year when I decided that we have to do this. On policy after policy, we're going to provide opportunity, prosperity, and security for all Americans. I'm going to lower your taxes beyond any number you thought possible. And by the way, Hillary Clinton is going to raise your taxes very, very substantially. She is. Very, very substantially. I'm going to get rid of massive amounts of unnecessary regulations on business and in your life. It's killing your businesses. I'm going to repeal and replace Obamacare. I'm going to appoint justices of the Supreme Court who will follow the Constitution. I'm going to rebuild our depleted military, and we're going to take care of our vets. We have plenty of them here tonight. I'm going to save your Second Amendment, which is under siege. And the NRA gave us the earliest endorsement they've ever given. So I want to thank the NRA. These are great people. These are great people. You've got to get out and vote. If you want to save your Second Amendment, believe me, you have to get out and vote. I'm going to stop illegal immigration and drugs coming into our country, and yes, we will build the wall. That's right. We will. We will build the wall, and Mexico will pay for the wall. Believe me, they will. They will. We have a trade deficit that's so massive with Mexico that the wall is a peanut compared to what we're losing. They will pay for the wall. They just don't know it yet. Okay? Believe me, they're going to pay for it. And they'll be happy to do it. Just has to be explained properly. I'm going to so importantly renegotiate your disastrous trade deals, especially NAFTA. Now, NAFTA is turning out to be the worst, but we're going to renegotiate. And we will make great trade deals, and we'll put our American workers first. But here's the thing. If for some reason we can't renegotiate NAFTA, they could say no, unlikely, but they could say no. We will terminate NAFTA, and we'll have new trade deals that will be phenomenal for the United States of America, okay? Right? We're not playing games. And Apple and our other major companies will start making their iPhones and their computers and other products inside the United States, not in China and all over the world except here, okay? Because that's what's happening right now, big league. We don't make our products anymore in the United States, but we will again, like never before, mark my words. We will rebuild our roads, our bridges, tunnels, highways, airports, schools, and hospitals. American cars will travel the roads. American planes will soar the skies. And American ships will patrol beautifully the sea. American steel will send new skyscrapers high into the clouds. American hands will rebuild this nation. And American energy, mined from American sources, will power our nation. And believe me when I say this, American workers, right? American workers will be hired to do the job. American workers. We will put new American steel into the spine of this country. I will fight for every neglected part of this nation, and I will fight to bring us together as one American people. Imagine, just imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people under one God, saluting one flag, right? Saluting one flag, right? It's time to break with the bitter failures of the past and to embrace a new, inclusive, and truly prosperous American future. Jobs will return, incomes will rise, and new factories will come back, and they will come back rushing into our shores. It will be a beautiful sight to behold. Once more, we will have a government of, by, and for the people. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody. November 8th, go out and vote. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.